Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschool. We have started with the chapter Metals and Non-Metals, where we have already studied the physical properties of metals and non-metals, as well as the chemical reactions of metals. We have seen various reactions, isn't it? Metals reacting with oxygen, metals reacting with water, right? Metals reacting with acid and displacement reactions. So these were the reactions so far we have discussed, and they are really very, very important topics where you have to revise carefully with the balanced chemical equations. Okay, and today we are actually learning a very, very basic concept which is very much important to understand the next concepts that come in this chapter. Okay, so the next concept we are learning is how metals can react with non-metal. Okay, so actually metal plus non-metal, when you combine, what do you get? What type of compound you get? This is what we are going to learn. But to learn this, you must know a basic aspect called electronic configuration. So you all have learned electronic configuration in your previous class, and I am going to tell more details about electronic configuration today. Okay, so slowly you have to improve your standard also. So the way of writing electronic configuration, I'm going to teach you in a different way. Okay, in the easiest way. So try to remember this. This is very, 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 very important. Okay, and if you can understand whatever I tell in this class, you can write the electronic configuration of any element in a periodic table. Okay, so any element in a periodic table you take, it's very easy to write their electronic configuration. So a short trick also I'll be telling you, right? So let us go into the topic. So why you have to learn electronic configuration basically? What is the need of learning electronic configuration? It is because, as I already told you, a chemical reaction is nothing but giving and taking of electrons, isn't it? So always a bond is formed between two atoms when this business of electrons happen. Okay, so what do you mean by business of electrons? Some atom give electrons and some atoms take electrons. Okay, so here actually the so-called metals, you know what are metals now? Okay, actually these metals are the guys which always give electrons during a chemical reaction. Okay, so these guys will always give electrons. They have a very broad heart of giving their electrons to others. Okay, but these guys, the non-metals, the so-called non-metals, always take electrons. Always take electrons from others. Okay, always take electrons from other atoms. Who is that other atom? Nothing but metal only. Okay, so this is the guy which is giving electron, and this particular guy is taking that electron. Okay, so when this happens between two atoms, a chemical bond or attraction is created, and that is how you are going to get a completely new substance out of it when they react. Clear, everybody? Okay, so this is what we call chemical reaction. Okay, and now as I told you, you all have a business of electrons between a metal and non-metal. Okay, so definitely there is a need to understand more about electrons. Okay, so the address of an electron, there will be so many electrons around the atom. Yes or no? So if you can revise the basic aspect about the structure of atom, say I am talking about structure of atom. Okay, so what does the atom consist? Centrally it will contain nucleus. Okay, around this you will have so many orbitals. So in these orbitals the electrons will revolve. Okay, so you can best observe this scene in the following picture, whatever I am showing you now. On how the atomic structure looks like. Okay, and see, this is the structure of atom. This is what we call nucleus. See, the nucleus is made up of neutrons and protons. These red color balls are neutrons, yellow color balls are protons. Okay, so both of them will stay within a nucleus and they keep moving within a nucleus. And outside you have circular orbits. This is orbit 1, this is orbit 2, this is orbit 3, orbit 4. We call them as shells also. This is shell number 1, K shell, L shell, M shell, N shell, like that it goes on. Yes or no? So these white color balls are nothing but electrons. They keep moving within the shell. Okay, and around the nucleus, they revolve in a shell. So now we will see a visual how everything is moving. Okay, so you can see the visual. Inside protons, neutrons are moving, right? And outside electrons are also moving around the nucleus. Within the shells only they are moving continuously. So this is how electrons revolve around the nucleus. Clear, everyone? See, just now you have seen how electrons will revolve around the atom, right? And it is a need to know the location of the electron. That means which electron is present in which shell, okay? Which electron is present in which orbital. This is important to know. Okay, so the address of an electron, I can call this in a simple word as address. Okay, because electron is the one which is participating in a chemical reaction from atom. Yes or no? So the whole atom is not responsible. The electrons present in a atom is responsible for the chemical reaction. So it is a compulsory thing to know about the address of an electron. Address of an electron means there are so many electrons revolving around the nucleus, but which electron is present in which orbital, okay, and how they react. All this you have to know, and that can be learned with the help of electronic configuration. Okay, so in simple words, electronic configuration tells about this. Electronic configuration tells about the address of an electron. Address of an electron. Okay, so there are so many electrons present around the nucleus. No, so which electron is located in which place, which orbital? This is what you can come to know with the help of electronic configuration. Okay, so now we will learn the way of writing electronic configuration. So before we go for writing electronic configuration of various elements, let us study detailed aspect about the structure of atom. Okay, detailed aspects about the structure of atom. Okay, so now let me draw the structure here. We all know, just now you have seen it in the picture also. So centrally you have something called nucleus. Yes or no? So center of the atom is nothing but a nucleus. So what does the nucleus contain? Nucleus contain protons and neutrons. Okay? So nucleus has small substances just like electrons. Okay, so small particles, they are nothing but protons and neutrons. Okay, so around the nucleus you have various orbitals, circular orbitals. Yes or no? And the first orbit is called as K orbit. Okay, and these guys are actually, we call it as orbits or shells. Okay, so I will use the word shell. So the first shell's name is K shell. Okay, and the second shell's name is L shell. I am not putting a complete circle here, just half a circle I am showing you. Okay, so the first orbit around the nucleus is called K shell. The second orbital we will call it as L shell, and the third one is, M shell. Okay, and the fourth one is N shell. Okay, like that, so many shells are there. But for your level, just try to remember K shell, L shell, M shell, and N shell. Okay, so K shell is also called as first shell. Digit 1 we will represent. First shell. Alphabetically, we will call it as K shell. Okay, so L can also be represented with the digit 2. M can also be represented with the digit 3. Okay, N can also be represented with the digit 4. Clear? So this is a very fundamental aspect you all should keep in your mind. Around the nucleus, you have various shells. They are called with alphabets K, L, M, N, and they are also called with the digits 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, in this main shells, these are our main shells. In each shell, there are again subshells. Okay, in each shell, again there are subshell. Okay, say for example, this is your distic. The atom is your distic. Okay, so always a distic contains taluks. Yes or no? Say for example, our distic is a Koppal district, and we have 3 main taluks in a Koppal district. No? Yes or no? So here K is 1 taluk, L is 1 taluk, M is 1 taluk, N is 1 taluk. Remember, atom is distic. Okay, distic will have taluks. So which are the taluks here? K taluk, L taluk, M taluk, and N taluk. Okay, so now each and every taluka will have colonies. Yes or no? Say for example, Gangavati is one of the taluk. Okay, it will have so many colonies. So if you want, what is your address? If you want to write your address, what you will write? You will mention the district. After the district, you will mention the taluk. In the taluk, you will mention the colony, the colony in which you are staying. Okay. So in the same way, we are giving the address for an electron. Okay. Imagine this is one full taluk. This is one full taluk, K taluk. So K taluk will also have colonies. Okay. And K taluk is a very small taluk. Okay, it has only one colony. Okay, K taluk has actually only one colony, and that colony has a name. What is that name of the colony? S colony. Okay, got to know everybody? In this district, K is 1 taluk, L is 1 taluk, M is 1 taluk, N is 1 taluk. Okay, 4 taluks are there. In the first taluk is the smallest taluk. There is only one colony. And what is that colony's name? S colony. Okay. So in the K main shell, you have only one subshell. What is the name of that subshell? S subshell. Clear? Okay. And this S subshell can accommodate only 2 electrons. Okay, this is a very small colony. It can have only 2 people. Okay, first taluk itself is the smallest taluk. In that also you have only one colony. In that one colony there is only one house. In that house how many people can stay? Only 2 people can stay. Okay, remember, always the colony with the name S is very small. How many electrons can stay in that S subshell? Only 2 electrons can stay. Okay, and after that place will not be there. Place is not there. Once 2 electrons filled in this subshell, place will not be there. The third electron should move to the next taluk only. Okay. Now the first taluk is completely filled. Its capacity is having 2 people. So 2 people, once the 2 people are getting filled up here, the third person should go to the next taluk only. Okay. So who is the next taluk? L shell is the next taluk. Okay. And the next taluk can have 2 subshells. Okay. Next taluk can have 2 subshells. So what is the name of a subshell? One is S, the other one is P. Okay. Next taluk is a quite bigger taluk. Okay, it is having two colonies. So what is the name of a colony? S colony, P colony. Okay, now we know S colony's capacity is having only two people, only two electrons can stay. Okay, but P colony is quite big, that is P subshell. P subshell is quite big. It can have a capacity of accommodating 6 electrons. Okay, 6 electrons. Clear everybody? Huh? So P colony in the second taluk, you can have two colonies. One is S colony, other one is P colony. S colony's capacity is always 2. P colony's capacity is 6 electrons. Okay, fine. And coming to the M shell. Okay, M shell. Little bigger one I'll draw. Fine. Yeah, M shell. Okay, that is the next. See, once the S colony is filled, the electrons will go to P colony. Once the S and P colonies are over, now there is no place in this particular taluk. The electron has to go to the next taluk only. So, which is that next taluk? M taluk. So, M taluk can have 3 subshells, that is 3 colonies. Okay, so M taluk can have 3 colonies. They are named with S, P and D. Okay, so we know the capacity of S is 2 electrons, the capacity of P colony is 6 electrons, and the capacity of S D colony, that is D subshell, is 10 electrons. Okay, it is a quite bigger taluk. M taluk is a quite bigger taluk. It can have 3 subshells, that is 3 colonies. S, P and D. S capacity is 2 electrons. P subshell's capacity is 6 electrons and D subshell's capacity is 10 electrons. Okay, and now let us go for N main shell. That is the last taluk which you have it in a district. Okay, and this guy can have, 4 colonies, that is 4 subshell. What are they? S, P, D and F. Okay, so S colony capacity, yes, the name S, when you see, its capacity is 2 electrons only. The colony is named P, when you see, that P may be there in N taluk, M taluk, L taluk or K taluk. Okay, so whenever you see P, it means it can have 6 electrons within it. Okay, so D, the subshell can have 10 electrons, and F subshell can have 14 electrons. It is a quite bigger colony. Okay, it can accommodate around 14 people. Here people means electron. Okay, colony means subshell, taluk means main shell, district means atom. Okay, so this is how you can correlate and remember the concept. This is a very, very, very fundamental aspect that everyone must know to write the electronic configuration. Here everybody? Okay, so the 4 main shells K, L, M and N. The K shell can have only 1 subshell, that is S, and S colony, S subshell can have only 2 electrons always. And the next main shell is L. L can have 2 subshells, S and P. Okay, P's capacity is 6 electrons. And M main shell can have 3 subshells, S, P, D. N main shell can have 4 subshells, S, P, D and F. Okay, and electrons will start filling from first shell onwards. Okay, see, the first electron always goes to the first shell, and the first shell has a colony, first taluk has a colony, what is that colony? Yes, so yes colony it will go. Okay, electron will try to stay and occupy which colony? First electron always occupies the S colony of K main shell. Okay, after this colony got filled up, so what is the maximum capacity of this guy? 2. After this colony got filled up, then the electron will move to L taluk. Okay, L shell. Again in the L shell, 2 colonies are there, no? First smaller colony will get filled up. Which is a smaller colony? S colony. Later electron goes to P. When this is completely filled, then electron goes to M main shell, first subshell. After this get filled, P. After this get filled, D. Okay. After this complete shell is filled up, then if extra electrons are there, still more electrons are there, then electrons will go to N main shell, first subshell, that is S. This gets filled, later P, later D, later F, and later next main shell, again you have colonies, it goes on. Anyway, for our periodic table, to write the electronic configuration, this much, these many shells and these many subshells are enough to remember. Okay, so now keeping this point in our mind, let us try to write the electronic configuration of elements. Okay, fine. See here, to write the electronic configuration in an easier way, I am going to give a trick. Try to remember this trick. Okay, it's very easy. Just try to remember. S means school, school. 2 times you write. Whatever you write, 2 times you write. Okay, school, school. Next, public school, public school. 2 times you have to write. Public school you are writing 2 times. Initially you have written school 2 times. School, school. Public school, public school. Okay. Next, Delhi public school, Delhi public school. Okay, 2 times. Delhi public school you are writing, so 2 times. Delhi public school, Delhi public school. Okay. Fantastic Delhi public school, fantastic Delhi public school. Okay, you are writing fantastic Delhi public school 2 times. Fantastic Delhi public school, fantastic Delhi public school. Okay, so now you have to put the numbers. This is 1s. Okay, you start with the digit 1. This is 1s. Try putting the numbers for all the s's gradually. Okay, this is 1s. Next x is here. Okay, this is 2s. This is 3s. Here one more s. 4s. This is 5s. This is 6s. Okay, this is 7s. And this is 8s. Okay, I have given numbers for all s's. Okay, next, let us give numbers for p. Whenever you give a number for p, start giving it from 2 onwards. Okay, there is no 1p, because what is the meaning of this 1s? 1 means what? K. K can also be represented with the number 1, no? So in the first main shell, you are talking about the subshell, that is S. Okay, and where is our P subshell present? It is present in the second shell. Yes or no? It is not present in the first shell. It is present in the second shell. What is the name of a second shell? What is the number for second shell? 2. P can be present in second shell. P is there in third shell. P is there in fourth shell also. Okay. So P subshell, whenever you are numbering, you should start it from 2 onwards. Because P subshell is present in second main shell onwards. It is not there in first main shell. Okay. But S subshell, it is there in first shell also. It is there in second shell also. Third shell also. Fourth shell also. Fifth shell also it will be present. 6th, 7th, 8th. It can be present elsewhere. Wherever it is. Okay. But P subshell will start from second shell onwards. No. So I will start putting a number 2 onwards. Okay, so this is 2p. Then again search in this line, where is one more p? 2p. This is 3p. Okay, next p is here. This is 4p. This is 5p. Okay, 5p. Next line. Where is p? Here. Okay, 6p. And this one will be 7p. Okay, fine. Now put a number for d. So whenever you put a number for D, you should start from 3 onwards. Why? Because in the second shell you see, do you have a D orbital? Do you have a D subshell? No, right? So you should, where is a D subshell? It is there in third shell. So that is the reason I'll start putting, for D, I'll put a number 3. Okay, I'll start with the number 3. This is 3D. Now here one more D is there, that is 4D. Over in this line, D's are over. Coming to the next line. So where is the D? Here it is. Here you have put 4, no? Here you put 5D and 60. Okay, fine. And now start putting numbers for F. For all S's you have given number, for all P's you have given number, for all D's you have given number, and for all F's. So whenever you start putting a number for F, start from 4 onwards, because where is our F subshell? It will start from 4th shell onwards. Okay, F subshell is not there in 3rd shell, 2nd shell and 1st shell. It is starting from which taluk onwards? N taluk onwards, that is 4th taluk onwards. Okay, biggest colony. So 4F, and where is one more F? Here, so 5F. Okay, so this is what you have to remember, guys. Okay, so first electrons will enter into 1s orbital. Okay, after this guy filled up, then the electron will start entering into 2s. After 2s is completely filled, then electrons will enter into 2p. What is the maximum capacity of P? 6. Till 6 electron can get filled up in this orbital. Later, the electron will go to 3s. Later, electron goes to 3p. Later, 4s. Later, 3d. Later, 4p, 5s, 4ds, 5p, 6s. Like that, the sequence goes. Okay. Now, keeping this sequence in our mind, let us write the electronic configuration for first element, that is hydrogen. Okay. So, let me write atomic number, element, E in the sense element, and EC, let us write here. Okay, electronic configuration. Atomic number 1 for the element hydrogen. So how do you write the electronic configuration? So you can use the trick. So first the electrons will go to 1s orbital, maximum capacity 2. Next it will go to 2s, next 2p, next 3s, right? So this is what you can follow and write. So how many electrons are there in hydrogen? 1 electron, because atomic number is 1. Atomic number will tell you how many electrons are present in that particular element. Okay, so atomic number 1 in the sense 1 electron. So that first electron, 1 electron present in hydrogen will stay in 1s orbital. Okay, that means first shell, first only one colony is there. First shell is one shell, 1s. Okay, in this 1s colony, 1 means main shell, s means colony name. In that colony, electron is present. Okay, so what is the electronic configuration? 1s, and that 1 electron is there, no? Here you have to mention, okay, as a superscript for yes. Okay, what does this 1 indicate? 1 electron. Okay, so in the previous classes and all, you have written electronic configuration for hydrogen is 1, just mentioned 1. This 1s you have not mentioned, yes or no? But you have to increase your standard of learning. So better to write the electronic configuration like this instead of indicating just 1. Okay, that means 1 electron is there in first shell, yes or no? That was the meaning. So now try to write the electronic configuration 1s1 for hydrogen. This 1 indicates main shell. This S indicates in this main shell, S is the subshell. In that subshell, electron is entering. Okay, electron is present. So this is the address of the presence of 1 electron in the hydrogen atom. Okay, address for this element is 1s. Okay, address for this electron is 1s. Clear? Fine. Coming to the next element, that is second element, atomic number 2, for which element? Helium. So what is the electronic configuration you will write? Yes, in helium also, where does the electrons will go first? 1s. After filling 1s, electrons will go to 2s. Okay, so 1s orbital only electron is going. How many electrons are there? 2 electrons. Both the electrons are present in 1s orbital only. Because in this orbital, maximum capacity 2, no, 2 electrons can be present. Okay, it is having a space of giving the accommodation for 2 electrons. So 1s2 is the electronic configuration for helium. Okay, or you can just write 2 also. Okay, so this is in the previous classes you have learnt. This is now I am teaching, but this is important to learn. Okay, fine. And coming to the third element, lithium. So for lithium, how do you write the electronic configuration? 3 electrons are there. First 2 electrons will go to 1s only. So 1s, 2. In 1s, 2 electrons are filled. Put comma. First 1s, that is the first shell is completely filled now. Then it cannot accommodate for any other electrons. Yes or no? The third electrons must go to the second shell only. Okay? Second shell, third electron must go to second shell. In that the first colony is s colony. That is 2s orbital. Okay? So 2s, 1. Okay? So 2 electrons will be present in 1s and 1 electron is present in 2s. Say you can just follow this trick, guys. Okay, so here 2 electrons can be present, here 2 can be present. In 2p, p means how many electrons it can accommodate? 6. Okay, like that you should go on filling, you should follow this trick, it becomes easy. Okay, so 1s, 2 completely filled, so the next electron will go to 2s. So in the 2s orbital, 1 electron you will have. Altogether 3 electrons. Okay, so how did you write the electronic configuration in the previous classes? For lithium, 2 comma 1 you have written. Yes or no? So this was the way of writing electronic configuration that you have followed in the previous classes. Okay, but now you have to remember this. Okay, it is better to write in this way. Fine. And coming to the fourth element, what is that? Beryllium. Okay, what is the electronic configuration? 1s2. Here still space is there? No. One more electron can be present. Yes. Yes means maximum capacity 2. No. So 2s2. So 2 comma 2. Or this or this. This or this. But this is important to write. Okay. Boron. Okay. Fifth element, boron. What is the electronic configuration? 1s2. 2s2. Now 2s is over. In 2s maximum capacity is for 2 electrons only. Next electron will go to 2p orbital. Okay. So 2p, in that how many electrons? 1. Okay. So 2p. Now 2p is getting filled up. Okay. Gradually it will get filled from 1 to 6. Okay. Fine. And sixth element, carbon. Very important element. What is its electronic configuration? 1s2. 2s2. 2p2. Yes or no? So 6 electrons, 2 plus 2, 4, 5, 6. Next element, seventh element, nitrogen. Electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. Okay. Eighth element, oxygen 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. Ninth element, fluorine 1s2, 2s2, 2p5. Okay. Tenth element is neon. Electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. Okay, and now 2p orbital is completely filled. Next, in the next element, the last electron will enter into 3s orbital. Okay, so like that you should go on writing. So normally this you can write it as first main shell 2, no, next shell, second shell how many? 3. Okay, and here 2, 4, 2, 5. Okay, so like that you can gradually fill up. Next element, sodium, right? Atomic number 11. That means in a sodium you have 11 electrons. So how do you write its electronic configuration? 1s2, 1s orbital completely filling. Next 2s orbital. After 2s will take up 2 electrons. Next you are going for 2p. 2p can take up 6 electrons. Right, and now once the second shell is completed, you can put a comma. Okay, after completing every main shell, put comma. So how many electrons are over? 6 plus 2, 8, 9, 10. Now 11th electron, where it will go? 2p is completely over. Now it will go to 3s. Okay, 3s 1, like this. Okay, so or you will also write it as first shell 2, no, second shell 6 plus 2, 8, and third shell 1. This is a normal way of writing what you have already studied. Okay, this is now you are learning. Fine. And 12th element is what? Magnesium, isn't it? So magnesium electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. Here space is there, no, one more electron can go along with that, so 3s2. Okay, and now which is the 13th element? Aluminium. Yes or no? Aluminium 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s is also now completely filled. 3s is also completely filled. Next it will go to 3p. Okay, so 3p orbital will get filled up. Now 14th element is silicon. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p2. Okay, now p orbital will start filling from 1 to 6 onwards in the next coming elements. Okay, so you can do this. And till 14 elements I have shown the electronic configuration. Remaining elements 16 to 15 to 20th element, you have to write the electronic configuration and post it in a comment box. Okay, so we are waiting. Write the electronic configuration from 15th element to 20th element, that is calcium, and post it in a comment box. Clear? Fine. So this is the way of writing electronic configuration for the elements. Okay, so very important, okay, for whole of chemistry, and this is a very fundamental aspect that everybody must remember. Okay, so electronic configuration is nothing but an address to an electron. Okay, so which electron present in which orbital can be known with the help of electronic configuration. Okay, thank you.